Welcome to Real Talks with Pinks. Thank you for the love we've been receiving on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and really share our videos. We appreciate it. So today, I have a very busy man who has blessed us with his presence on the show, Steja. Steja, can you please introduce yourself to our guests, and then I'll tell them what you're talking about.
All right.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to your, is it a show or what do we call it?
It is a show.
It is a show. Okay. I just needed to make sure I don't say the wrong thing. I must also commend you for the good work you're doing. Creating content is probably the most important thing in the 21st century.
Sure.
We are slowly seeing a lot of people are lazy to read. So this is probably the best way to gather information.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're doing a very good job. Where do I start? You call me Steja, so I'm tempted to go into my art side, but let me. So my government names. I'm a lover of good things. I'm passionate about growth as a person. I'm passionate about growth in other people. I have been blessed with the opportunity to lead at a young age and to be taught how to lead at a young age. So throughout my life, I have devoted myself to leading, whether the position requires me to or not.
Wow.
Whether from the back or from the front, I have been very blessed to be given such opportunities, and it has created a person out of me. Because of those exposures, I have now become a lover of solutions, of problems, because then solutions will come.
Wow.
I love problems. I love using other people's geniuses to solve those problems. And fortunately for me, it doesn't take titles, it doesn't take positions to do that. It just requires the ability to influence people, the ability to sell ideas, and people embrace them as if they're their own. And then you sit back and watch people do what you want them to do as if they want to do it.
Guys, what a lovely introduction. So we are still on the career series. We are going to talk about the things that Steja learned as a CEO of one of the big insurance companies in Lesotho, and also taking a career break. Can you believe it? So let's get right into it, Steja.
Okay.
You held one of the big positions here in Lesotho. You look very young, by the way. And then you decided to take a career break as a CEO. Can you run us through that? How did that come about?
So I also believe in doing meaningful work. When I roll up my sleeves to work, it has to be important than just the paycheck. That's another thing I didn't mention about me. I love money, but I never allow money to stop me from committing my time and my life to something that is purposeful, that also touches the most important parts of my life. So when I joined, am I allowed to mention the company I worked for? Okay. When I joined Mammoth, I had actually just resigned from another job. I was on my way home to do what I'm trying to do now. And Mammoth approached me, here's a role that's vacant, are you interested? I said, well, I was going home clueless as to what I was going to start doing, so I might as well join. Can I do 2 years? They said, no, 2 years is too short. Let's think about something long term, and all sorts of nice things were sort of put into the contract so that a long-term view could be on the table. So I said, okay, let's see how it goes. But in my heart, I knew that where I was professionally and even as a young man, I needed to step away from the busyness and the buzz of corporate, the large desk and a big office at the corner, someone doing things for you, and I had to step away from that so that I felt I'm getting into a trap where I will be defined by the things I've done. So I wanted to step back and go pick a definition of who I am without all these things. So I went into the office, did meaningful work for 2 years. Like very, 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 very good work. But when it was time for me to leave, I remember it was like 5 months before I decided to leave. I called the chairperson and said, it's time for me to go. And he was like, where would you go? There's unemployment, there's all. And I said, it's time for me to go. Those things are secondary to why I need to go. We had a long discussion. When it was time for me to go, called him again. I said, it's time. He said, you're joking. I said, it is time. I said, stay long. I said, it is time. So here is the problem that you might find if I stay longer than what I feel like I have done now. I will be complacent and I'll start becoming very arrogant. This is an analysis of myself. And I'll start delivering value that is less than what I can do, less than my potential. I will also start disrespecting the purpose of this office. So it's better I step away now, while I can still deliver value that the shareholders and the employees will embrace and say this is worth everyone's effort and contribution. So really, that's why I left. I also felt that I had done everything that I needed to do for the type of work I came in to do. It's a very painful thing to do, to dig it and then watch other people drink from it. But it's something that I've done for the longest time in my career. I believe a lot of people benefit from the foundational work that I go in to do. In every office that I've actually worked in, people benefit, organizations and people benefit a lot from that foundational work. I don't feel I have to necessarily be there to benefit from those things, because there are people that are coming after us. We need to lay the foundation for them so that they can drink this spring water and enjoy their lives. I feel I want the big challenge of taking a pickaxe and a shovel and make sure that I get to prepare the next generation for better things and bigger things.
Purpose is your thing.
I suggest. I suspect it is.
So, I mean, it couldn't have been easy to even get to that big position. You say you love solving problems.
I do,
In Lesotho, we have unemployment, we have a lot of entrepreneurs suffering. So we may need you to share those nuggets of wisdom with young people. A lot of people are young who are watching the show. So how do they get to those executive positions in this landscape that we live in Lesotho?
That's a heavy question. When I left school, after I completed my honors in investment management, one of the things, I came back very bitter because I had actually watched opportunities run away from me because I didn't have an ID. SA was my ideal environment to work from. But in that bitterness, I made a very powerful decision, which was, I want to go back home and contribute. I want to go back home and be a person of substance and contribute to whatever change and positive direction that this country is going to take. I want to be part of it. So the best thing I think anyone should do is don't do anything half-half. Go in all the way and contribute, and do not wait for you to be told to contribute. Being one of the things that I believe helped me get to where I got so quickly was I didn't wait for instructions to say "Fiela mona" because when I see it, I move. If I see a trend, or somebody will see a trend that whenever there is debt somewhere here, this guy will come and sweep it. Guess what? When chief cleaning officer position comes out, who will they give it to? the guy who is committed to cleaning without being asked to clean.
Definitely.
So being an initiator of things is super important. As an executive, one of the things that I've learned is you will always derive more value from employees that get out of their way to do things. The guy who's waiting to be told, who's waiting to be given an instruction, he processes things so slowly. The first question you will ask is this within my job description? I have never found such an offensive response to when you say, can you do this? And then someone boldly and with all the confidence to say, this is not within my job description. So I think what the power that millennials have is we live in the information age. Everything that we need to know and be is written somewhere and it's sitting on our smartphones.
Yes.
So if you can combine being someone with initiative, leading from behind, be an influential person, respect people that you work with and everything. But one of the things that we can do better than any other generation on is everything we want to be and do is written somewhere. Unlike maybe 2 or 3 generations before us, they had to go into a library to go and learn how to become a host of a show. All you need to do now is to watch 5 YouTube videos and you're ready to start.
Yes.
So anything that you want to do and be, start reading about it, start watching videos on it, and practice. And actually get yourself in a place where you start things. I was telling a young lady about 2 weeks ago, she was saying, I am hired in a HR office, but I'm not practicing in a HR. And I said, that's your problem. It's not the company that hired you. They knew what they wanted from you. You supplied more than what they wanted. So you need to decide what to do with the excess. So here was my suggestion to her. Go find 10 or 20 students, by from 5 or whatever. Train them to be better leaders. Train them to be better personalities and characters that will benefit, that this country can benefit from in the future.
Yes.
That's what your job is as a HR person.
Yes.
Help people achieve certain goals, help them realize their potential and become better. So whether you do that in the 8 to 5 that you've been given or outside, it doesn't really matter. It's the skills you apply to that situation that matters. And the more you do that, the more you get prepared for other bigger roles. So it will not matter that you did this thing outside your work. When someone asks you, do you have experience of developing people? Your answer will be yes, because you actually practice that. So I can talk a lot about this. So please stop.
No, I have the last question before we close.
Okay.
Millennials are termed compass. We get into the job market thinking we have experience and skills, and usually these executive positions is older generations.
That's true.
So we have the technology. We know that they have experience. They have seen it. So there's that. What's the relationship between young talent and older people, and how do we harness that to benefit everyone, organizations and everyone?
I've always been fortunate enough to be the youngest person in the room.
I can imagine.
And what I've learned is that our approach is terrible most of the time.
I know.
Our approach is terrible most of the time. We go in with the entitlement that because I have a degree, they must listen to me. Influence is something that is cultivated over a period of time. You get to understand what people believe in, why they believe in it. The day you want to crush their idea or how they've been doing things for the past 20 years requires that you appreciate a bit of where they're coming from. But we don't do that. We already come with prescriptions of how things should be without no appreciation of the environment that they have worked in, that they are now in, and how things tend to get to where they are now. And as long as our approach is about we know better, we will always fail. One of the guys that I follow and love very much, his name is Mike Murdoch. He speaks mostly about wisdom. He says mentorship is wisdom without the pain. So what we do normally is to go collect information from the internet, maybe even from our textbooks, and then we want to go in there as if we know exactly what needs to happen. But those people have the experience of doing, failing. They have scars of failing and doing some of those things. The best we can do is to understand their process, why they failed, and why we would succeed. What makes us feel like we're in a position of succeeding on a similar assignment with similar variables. But we decide that we know everything. But unfortunately, we are blindsided from a lot of things that person has the benefit of experience. So all we need to do is, we want your wisdom, but the pain of experiencing the things you have experienced, we don't want it. So the best thing we can do is to sit under the instructions of those people, listen to them, listen to them speak from the heart and from their heads to say, this could have, and the moment people open up to you, they will also tell you why they feel they failed. But we don't even give them a chance to actually do a self-introspection. We become the teacher and the lecturer and the judge to say, you failed because, So everything that we don't learn from somebody else's history, it's bound to come and manifest in your life. So my advice for millennials and people that want to get to higher positions is find someone elderly in the professional space and sit and listen. Listen. You can only now come up with your ideas after learning and understanding why things failed in the past. It's super important. I've been lucky that I've had managers who were way older than me, and they believed in me. I think that's another advantage that I had. They believed in me. They gave me a chance to do things and fail. But I always sat down and listened. So my failure would have been magnified, but it was brought to a manageable level because I had someone I can bounce ideas on, and I could listen to how they used to do things in the past. And that helped a lot.
Wow.
Those positions, I don't think they are age based. It's getting a few things right. Understand yourself, respect people around you, understand people. Leading is about people, and if we don't understand and respect people, there's no way we can get. Definitely.
Thank you, Steja. You've said so many important points.
And I feel like we're just warming up now.
You are just warming up, but we have to close the show. We'll bring you again. I think we learned so much from you. Thank you for coming. We will definitely do part 2 because we are doing this career series. Thank you, viewers, for watching. You will come again.
Thank you for having me.
In the next episode, our viewers.
Bye.
Bye for now.